Let's start off with pretty much taking off all the equipment. I moved my snare over here and I took off my pedal. So here's the damage of what we have here. This is what I got. I got a nice hole. So first off, first thing you need before literally doing anything is purchasing the right equipment. I suggest you measure the height or the size of your drum, and to make sure that you get the right size. So I went out to Guitar Center and purchased a Remo Pinstripe clear 22-inch kick drum head. So yeah, and I bought a super thin kick pad. Which is this. It's the same kind. So it's from Aquarian, so that's what I highly recommend. So the first step that you do is you have to unscrew these right here. What these do is when you put these on, it keeps the front rim. It keeps the rim tightened in. So you have to unscrew them and turn them over onto their backs, and you have to do that to all of them. I already got about half of them, so let's go ahead and get the rest of them. Alright, I'm down to the bottom ones now, so I'm going to have to set the camera down for this one. The last two here that you, on the bottom, you have to actually unscrew it with a drum tool. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Alright, so now that I have all these turned over, it's time to just go ahead and pull off the rim. Should come off nice and smooth. Make sure nothing's in the way of it coming out. Alrighty. And that's what it looks like on the outside. That's what the rim looks like. So this is the replacement. So this is what's being replaced here. Gotta pull that out real quick. Alrighty, so this is it. This is what broke. So as you can see, it broke pretty good. So we don't need this anymore. So we're gonna just set it back here. So just in case you want to see what the inside of my kick drum looks like, that's what it looks like. So let's go ahead and get out the new Remo Pinstripe 22-inch bass drum head. Yeah! Alright, so this is the replacement drum head. The next step is to go ahead and attach it to the bass drum. Let's go ahead and get that going. Make sure it's nice and tight on all ends there. Because if it's not on tight enough, then it will not turn out right. Really double check. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab the rim. Really important. Make sure you put it on the right way. Make sure you don't put it on backwards or anything like that. So here we go. Make sure the bottom's all the way on, because if the bottom is not all the way on, then, like I said, it will not turn out right. So make sure it is right. If you do have two bass drums like me, then make sure you double check and make sure that this rim looks exactly identical to this rim. So it does feel the same. So we should be good. Alright, so let's go ahead and go ahead and turn these back around. Put them over, like so. Damn. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead, So now that you have the bottom ones on, you're gonna go ahead and you really have to kind of be careful with these because you have to make sure it is put on right and it's not too loose. But we're gonna go ahead and turn these over, all of them. First things first, tightening. You have to make sure that it sounds right, that the bass drum does sound right. That's when it comes to tuning, but we'll get into the tuning part later. So we will put this kick pad on, but that's the very last thing we're gonna do. So, but for now, let's go ahead and tighten the bottom ones here. Alright, now that I have the bottom one screwed in now, let's go ahead and get these going. I'm going to push down on the rim so it'll be pushed, so it'll be tightened in correctly, because if you don't push down on it a little bit to where it is even on all sides, then once again, you know, this will not turn out right. So make sure when you get in the top 2 or 3, just kind of press down and make sure it's even. Otherwise, it obviously won't be, then the rim won't be put on correctly. So here we go. You were perfect, perfectly covered in blood, and I saw right through you. Alright, now that I pretty much have the top layer done, let's go ahead. I don't have to press on it anymore, so let's go ahead and tighten the rest of them. You will start to see that the drum head is changing shape as you tighten it, as you start to get all these in. So you're going to hear a lot of snap, crackle, pops like this. I mean, you will start to hear that. So basically this is when you're going to start hearing the note. You're going to start hearing more bass drum noise. Just the more you start starting to screw this in. Okay. One more. Alrighty, so now all of them are screwed in. Now it is time to go ahead and reattach the hardware, and then we're gonna test the sound real quick and start tuning it up. Start tuning everything up, and then we'll finally put on the finishing product of the kick pad, and then we'll be done. I like to do something like press on the sides. It's just like putting on new strings of a guitar. You have to kind of push on the sides, so you have to kind of really push on them, on the strings, and same thing for bass drum. Drum heads. All these drum heads, you have to kind of push on them a little bit so they get broken into a little bit. So they're not, you know, they don't get out of tune so easily. Let's go ahead and reattach the hardware. You think you could break Alright, now that you put your pedal back on, after you put assembled your pedal back on, now it's time to tune it back up. Whenever you first get it, I've already actually tuned it up a little bit off camera, but when you first get it, like I said, there was a lot of ripples. Actually, here's a nice example. Here, let me get my phone so you can see the, well, I guess you can't really see it. But if you look at my phone right here, it's very ripply, and it should look like that. It should look very normal, like a reflection. Right here, it's very, very warped. So you have to kind of tune the. You have to really kind of start tuning it around, and until everything is not too tight. It cannot be too tight, but it has to be tight enough to where you do not see any ripples, nothing like that. After you have everything put on, it's time to go ahead and put on your kick pad. So if you mentioned, or like I mentioned from earlier in the video, I have a super thin kick pad from Aquarian. So here is how you put on the kick pad. You have to put it on very, very carefully. I'm definitely going to have to do this cautiously, and I'm not going to, I can't hold the camera. This is definitely a two-hand job. It's not like really difficult or anything. You just have to make sure there's no air bubbles or wrinkles in it when you put it on, and you have to put it in the right spot or it won't be right. So you have to kind of draw a mental circle and kind of get the basic idea of where you're going to put that kick pad. Wherever your pad, or wherever your base, or wherever your beater's hitting, that's where you got to hit it, or that's where you got to put it. So it's going to be about once you feel like you got all the air bubbles out, there you go. That's it. That's how you replace a drum head. So let's go ahead and let's get on the set and let's see how it sounds.
Oh jeez, I hope it works.
Crazy, crazy.